Okay, I'm going to start the presentation. ברוכים הבאים לפסטיבל דוק אביב 22. אנחנו שמחים לארח בפסטיבל את אווה מולבד, במאית הסרט ילד אהבה, ואת סהנד ולילה, גיבורי הסרט. שמי תמי ליברמן, אני מתכבדת לנהל את השיחה עם היוצרת והמשתתפים. אורך השיחה יהיה חצי שעה, ואנחנו מזמינים אתכם להשאיר שאלות באזור של ה-Q&A, בכל שלב שתרצו לאורך השיחה. שימו לב לא לפרסם את השאלות באזור של הצ'אט, אלא רק באזור של ה-Q&A, כדי שלא נפספס את השאלה. Welcome to the 22nd edition of Dok Aviv Film Festival. We are honored to have Eva Mulvad, the filmmaker, creator of Love Child, with us today, as well as the film protagonists, Sahand and Leila. My name is Tami Lieberman, and I'm truly delighted and thrilled to conduct this webinar, which will last 30 minutes. I invite you to leave your questions in the Q&A section at any time. Please leave it there and not at the chat section. And Eva, you're a Danish filmmaker.
Yeah.
And Sahand and Leila, you originally come from Iran. You escaped to Turkey. And I wonder first, I would like to ask, how did you all meet? How did you start your joint work on the film?
Well, it was Sahand and Leila who, when they decided to escape, they felt more secure having somebody to watch over them. So they had a friend. I think Sahand, you met Morten in the bazaar in Iran, and you kept contact. And when the two of you decided you wanted to escape, you called him up and said, "Hey, do you want to follow our lives?" And I know Morten; he's a colleague of mine. And when he had been shooting for a year with the family, he came to our office because he wasn't so experienced in this long-term documentary filmmaking. So he sought our cooperation. And so we've been working together for 6 years. Him, the family, they've been shooting a lot of the material themselves, and another director called Leah.
So the initial decision came from you, Sahand and Leila. It was your decision. So I wonder why? Why did you decide to dedicate your life to its documentation?
Actually, when I saw that there is no way, so sorry. First, I have to say hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, maybe for inviting us for this, because previously we were talking with you, and then I forgot to say hello. When I reached to this decision that there is no way except escaping from Iran, then because the case was really sensitive, and I knew that maybe the Ministry of Intelligence, maybe it was 50-50 for me. Maybe they had understood or they didn't know. So it was very hard for me. When I was arrested, when I was young, they arrested me in Ministry of Intelligence. Then at that point, I had just one wish. I said to myself when I was young, "Oh my God, I wish that there's somebody knew that they arrested me, just somebody." And because of it, when we wanted to escape, when we decided to escape, I just thought to myself, what had I do? And the best decision was to making some people aware. And I tried to find the best ones, with my own, and I didn't even just trust to one case. I contacted several cases, and, from different kind of, maybe some opposition groups, some kind of, journalists, and I didn't have any idea which of them are true or which of them are false. But it was I think I did the right decision. And I wanted them to know that what has happened to us, what is our story. And if they arrest us, then they will, for example, they can understand, have it, concept of what was our life and what was our, story.
Yeah. So to an extent, this was a collaboration in film, we can say. It was a real collaborative project. I wonder, how did the process itself take place? Eva, you live, I can imagine, in Denmark. Is that true? And
Yeah.
And did you travel to Turkey? How did the shooting take place? How did the editing take place?
Yeah, I'm based in Copenhagen, and the two other directors are also based here. So fortunately, this happened before the corona virus, so we could travel freely between Istanbul and Copenhagen. And I must say, Sahand and Leila has been very, very good at being main characters in the film. It's not everybody who can put aside what happens in their life and call the director and say, "Hey, come, you need to come. There's something new. The UN has called us or sent an email. And they were also great at filming when something important happened in their own life. So because we couldn't be there all the time, but we decided to travel to Turkey following the asylum seeking process within the UN. That was kind of our plot story. And then we also knew that this was a love story, and we knew that this family were very good at showing their emotions and very transparent, expressive people. So we knew every time we went to their house, we also would look for how was it going with the kind of the psychological situation, the little kid growing up. So we knew that there was like a family story, but we followed a lot of like the paperwork within the UN.
Yeah, yeah. So this was the frame.
Yes.
Yeah. I have to say on a personal note, just to share my own experience, and I cried throughout the film. I really I could not stop crying from the beginning and pretty much till the end, both in happy scenes and in the hard scenes. And I think that one of the reasons that the viewer becomes so captivated emotionally is this intimacy that you manage to create, this openness, this open heart that you share. Leila and Sahan, it's it's very hard to do this, to share and open up like this in front of the camera. And I wonder, how did you establish? Was there a need to get used to the camera? How did you establish this kind of trust, this kind of comfortable feeling with the presence of the camera, or was it immediately quite simple to you? How did it feel, Leila and Sahan?
It was very hard. I mean, it was odd and weird, especially for money, that whatever that we wanted to do, we had a camera. Sahan, for example, we went somewhere and we wanted to, for example, buy something, even for the little things. Sahan took his camera out and starts screening. But on that time, yes, in the beginning, it was odd especially for money. That he said that why we have a camera all the time, why we are filming all parts of our life. But on and on, we see that, okay, maybe it's a first and one and only way that we can at least say the word that something happening here. Yes, the most of the media close their ears, but Eva shoot many screen of what happening in our life.
And also, I think Eva was a kind of very professional. I think the angles, the corners that she chose, the way that she behaved with us, the way that, she managed everything was very important. But also in my own, way, I had a very, close kind of relationship with camera. I thought that because maybe it was the only thing that I had in my life, the only thing that I depended, I trusted, and sometimes I became very angry and shoot it on the camera. And believe me that sometimes I wanted to hit the camera because maybe I not because I thought that the camera was in front of me just to speak with me. Just he was the ones that I had created problem for me. I had created maybe problem for them. Sometimes I became sensitive, and it was a kind of window for me, a kind of mirror. Sometimes it was and also Eva was very professional. I think she chose the right places, the right corners, the right way of behaving with us. While recording, I didn't feel that she's recording.
Yeah,
she's there.
She behaved with us in a way that we suppose that, okay, we are one who are in the room and we are spoke freely. We didn't role play. We were
ourselves. 100%. We were ourselves, and just sometimes, but we couldn't be totally ourselves because I was very angry. And sometimes I think it was not necessary for the film, so Eva edited them. Not Eva, Mr. Nelson, I think. I forget his name. I'm sorry.
Adam.
Yeah, Adam Nelson.
No, but I just think that even in these kind of moments, they're so human. Yeah, that there is significance to sharing them in a film. And as I said, I also find it to be very brave. I will pause just for a second because I see that one of our viewers said that the volume is a little low. So I wonder if you can perhaps come closer to the microphone, or if there's something, some adjustment.
I wanted to use a microphone, but unfortunately, with microphone, we could have another problem, another issue that, we had to shift the,
Naturally.
Oh, no, is it okay now?
I find it to be a little bit better. I hope, if there's a problem, I hope that one of the viewers will let us know in the chat window. I wonder, it does seem that many of the scenes are very natural and that you are yourself. I did wonder if there's any planning that occurred. Did you ever plan scenes together, Eva, Sahan, and Leila? Did you ever say, oh, we need to include this information in the film? So nothing was ever planned?
Yeah, we planned a lot, but it was always planned for to follow their life, their natural life. But sometimes we repeated something, or for example, the scenes you have with the psychologist. It was a tool for me to try and bring out the backstory, what has happened to the couple before they came to Turkey. It was also a thing that they wanted to go to a psychologist and try to process some of the experiences. And she was a professional psychologist dealing with refugees and having a free counseling. So, I mean, I always like to be able to form reality, but in my opinion, it works best if it starts from reality. And these guys, they're very good at expressing their inner emotions. So why invent something? It's just how to frame them so that you can actually see it, because reality often is a mess. There's a lot of things that doesn't fit to a film. And you just need to look for those moments that feels iconic somehow. I really love the scene that we did with Leila getting the bike from Sahan. And that idea was Sahan's idea, but we kind of worked on it to make it cinematic. But I mean, the joy that you see in Leila's face is totally real.
Yeah, as sincere as they come. I wonder if the camera itself did it ever, you feel, change the reality itself? One of the scenes that I wondered this about was the scene of your wedding, when at first it seems that the woman working it's the city hall, the woman is first reluctant, and then at some point she's actually happy to help. And I really wondered if the camera played a role there.
For that lady, I think, no, it didn't, actually, she didn't change her mind because of, the camera. Actually, here in Turkey, to be honest, yeah, when we go to police, everywhere we go, they are very kind people. And actually, when they began contacting with you, when they understand you, they are normally, since the time that we have arrived here, they are very open to help. And, when they understand you, when they communicate with you, they try to solve the issue. I think it was not just because of the camera, yeah, but also it was very good that there was a camera and, showed her kindness, really. Otherwise, yeah.
That day, sorry, her name was Tammy.
Yeah.
Tammy, that day, I remember that Sam was very disappointed. He said that, no, we cannot reach Yalova, we cannot go there, we missed the ship. And we ran that way, the way to get the ticket to go to Yalova. And we done it at the last minutes. It was I mean, shortest wedding party that somebody can
yeah,
without any plan. But yeah, we had a plan, but we are very in hurry to do it because we should go to the other city and arrange something. Yeah.
That's also the fun part about it. Is often I'm just like shooting with a little camera, and it's just me and the two of you, and we're just trying to see what will happen. And we didn't call them up before, and we just see. And sometimes that I really enjoyed that day because everything was difficult, but it ended up being also a great process in the film, and very touching that you got to get married in the end after all of this hardship.
I think that generally in this kind of film, you have a lot of uncertainty. I mean, you went into a story or an experience, a very real experience, that you did not know, you could not know how it would develop. And I wonder how for all of you as filmmakers in this process, how did that feel? How did you handle this? And Eva, did you ever experience this in previous films? And how did it feel to go into a project that you don't know how would end up?
But that's documentary cinema. If you're doing these kind of cinema verite things where you kind of bet on some people and you see what will happen to them. In the beginning, I didn't think we would be shooting for 6 years. I thought we will follow this family. I could see that they were good main characters. They were expressive, likable, but I thought maybe we will follow them for 1 or 2 years, getting settled somewhere in the world. That would also was what you expected at that time. So it's a common thing for us documentary filmmakers that we have to bet on some people and see what life does to them.
Yeah, yeah. You decided as part of the film to include quite a few of the everyday moments where we basically enjoyed this kind of tender framing of just making a meal, drinking a bit of tea, and I first of all, I find it to be a very unique side to the film, because those are scenes of everyday life, of normality, we can call it, but of people that are seeking normality, that are seeking a normal life, and you can sense this tense notion of uncertainty in these films. And I wonder, how did you make the decision to base the film around such scenes?
Well, I think we had for a very long time a more political strand of the story, kind of a plot that unfortunately we have not been able to tell in the film. But in the editing, it became clear to us that the uniqueness and the strength of this story was that basically to put all of us who has never been put in a situation like Sahan and Leila and Mani, to kind of see it from the inside, and that everyday life, the small things that we can recognize, and that kind of can be difficult to actually put into a documentary film, because you think you need to show a lot of drama, but I think in the waiting time that it took so long that they had to build the family while they were still not in a stable place, that became the story. And of course we could feel it when we were shooting, because we could see that those scenes had a beauty to them and we were looking for them. But up till very late in the editing, we didn't know exactly if we would be putting more political side of the story into it as well.
Yeah. I wonder how did it feel, Sahan and Leila, for you to watch yourself on film when you saw versions or when you saw the final edit?
The first time that Eva came to us and she screened us, I cried. I remember that we were in the living room, yes, the same room, and I cried. I paused it in some parts, and I I asked Sahan that how we pass it. What kind of trauma was it? How we pass it? It was something like a storm, and how we came safe. Still, we are not safe, but how we came out from these
problems, these issues, For me, it was like a Kafka story, and I told it to Eva, the Kafka's, trial, when. In the beginning, the man, goes and for justice, and the guardian is there, and one door, and after another door there are stronger maybe guardians, and he stops in the first door, and the guardian stops him. And for me it's like this, we have that guardian. I don't know what's that guardian, who is that guardian, I don't want to put once more put myself in political things. But the power that had stopped us here, not here, because this is a beautiful country, but we have no right here, actually, no right, like, normal people. And even my son, 2 nights ago, Leila was crying very hard. And because we, after years of trying to change Mani's surname, we reached to this conclusion that they cannot, issue us a family, table, family frame, family, tree to, even go to court and have this, the simple right to, have the, our son, like, an official son, he's our son, but officially on paper, it doesn't exist. And, when I saw the film the first time, yeah, actually I was, it's always have been hard for me to watch myself, even when somebody records me. I hate myself while watching myself, but I liked it and I had a connection with it. But still, sometimes I want to even, because I follow the internet, follow the, Google to, I Google the film and, Eva, and to see what's going on. But anytime that I want to click on the, what you say, trailer, I couldn't. I stopped just in the beginning that I am crying. I stopped there and I said, okay, it's enough. It's enough.
Yeah. But unfortunately, because this film has toured a lot of great festivals, and it has been such a problem for me, actually, that I haven't been able to screen the film for you in a cinema. Because Leila and Sahan, they are not allowed to leave Turkey. So we have not been able to actually bring you to any of the festivals that the film has been screened in. And now everything is online, which also makes it complicated on top of this. But I hope that we can come to Turkey one day and screen it for you really in a cinema with an audience, because you should have that experience.
Yeah. How was it for Mani to see the film?
He was silent. All up to end of the film, he was silent. He didn't ask any question. But I am afraid about his future. He didn't have any. Sometimes I punish myself when I am alone. I say that if he comes to me and say that why you filmed me.
No, I don't.
I don't know. You done whatever that you could,
no,
but still you cannot support me well. I don't know, because I wanted to show the whole world that we are just love each other and we want to support him as our child. But as a sentence that I told at the end of that day that we done the wedding, we done it officially, something illegal, we done it as illegal. But for Mani, still, as a mommy, as a mother, it's very suffering for me that I feel myself very inefficient. I don't know.
Tami, for me, when I was young, when I was, maybe around 13, 14, 15, the same age that Mani was, I passed another storm in my family life with my mom, with my grandpa. We had a very, kind of stormy life. And it was maybe if I was a director, I could make the best possible film from those, scenes that passed. And, we came out safe, but not what kind of safe. You could see the result of it when I was 18 or 19 years old that they arrested me. But at those moments, I remember that I totally understood the situation. I didn't, have a youth like other children that they were very angry with parents. Sometimes they behaved like, juniors. But when I go back to those moments, I can see that, I understood my mom. I understood my even granddad. I wanted to be a kind of maybe, kind of a peacemaker. And, these kind of things, because my father had passed away at those times when I was 8. But later, we had this storm. I think that Mani, more or less, totally, I think he's like both of us. But I think that he understands. And I think that he kindly, supports us. And even despite the fact that he's very young, but he has a very good knowledge about how he doesn't like to maybe disappoint us. And he keeps everything inside himself. And it bothers me that he even doesn't say to me that, to my face, that, what did you do to me? Why? Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. What did you do to me? Yeah. And it makes me really sad that one day maybe he himself asks himself, but at least we had such a dare to, I dedicate these moments, I dedicate this film to those who have children like Mani and they don't accept the responsibility. Please accept your responsibility. Please be a father to your son. Even if you have to pay, even if you have to pay.
Yeah. Wow. I wonder if it's okay to ask, Leila, and if you feel uncomfortable with this, please, we can leave it aside. But it's a question that I wonder about, and it's also joined by a question by one of our viewers. One of the viewers asked, did you speak to your brother in the end, and how did he respond if you did? And I wondered if your brother saw the film.
Yeah, finally I could speak with him. And because I went, I went to that psychology that also Eva screened. I asked her help to solve this problem because it was very important for me. And as I mentioned many times in the film, I could speak with him. And as a psychologist also told me before, something very different happened. He accepted. He hugged me far from the, virtually. And he said, why you feel me like a foreigner, like a stranger? Why you didn't tell me before? Maybe I could help you more. I'm your brother, I'm his uncle forever. Nothing can change this reality. Just I'm afraid that you tell me a bit late. But for me, yes, it was very hard. My voice was trembling when I was speaking with him. And Sand also helped me in speaking with him. He is my wings.
Yeah, you have mine too. Yeah.
You're very courageous for sharing it with them, very much. I want to tell you that one of the responders from the viewers said, and I think it's in response to how helpful you feel that people are in Turkey too. She just wanted to say, I think that the people around you, I'm reading this out loud, I think that the people around you are helpful and accommodating because the two of you are such beautiful people. You're so bright and courageous and kind that watching the movie, I found myself praying for a happy end. And this leads me to a question that is asked again and again by many of the viewers. Where do you live now? How are you doing now? What is the situation today? Someone asked us, the US Supreme Court dismissed Trump's announcement about immigrants, didn't it? So can you go there? Are you still planning to head west? This repeats a few times in the Q&A section. Yeah.
Actually, we are in Turkey right now. We are both of us teachers. I'm even to this year, I became the head of the Department of Foreign Languages, and also Leila is in another school, and they also had offered her the same opportunity, but she didn't accept, and she went to another school too, because the other school is very more important than mine. But we are still in Turkey. People are very good, everything is here, it's like something that, you are enjoying while two dangers are, have surrounded you, your past and your future. I always, compare it with the man who escapes from a danger and goes inside a well and hangs a, rope. From above, a mice is eating, and from in the bottom, a snake is waiting. And there he finds some honey and, begins, eating the honey. The life is like this. These kind of opportunities, everything is like honey, but the future is unclear. There is no clear future. There is no, official standard, maybe we are behaving with us. Still, when we go to hospital, we are stateless. They, when we go with normal cards, they tell us, okay, go and take a copy. It's like behaving in a very, humiliating way. But, people are very good. Our neighbors, our friends, I don't know, even my children, my, students, our students, sometimes I think they understand us more than anyone else. So, yeah, still the future is unclear, but we are at least we are enjoying that honey inside the well.
But
we were so lucky that somebody send us to this house to focus on us. But this house changed as a heaven for us. The owner of our house, that we missed him some months ago, unfortunately,
because of cancer.
Yeah, his children, the other neighbors, all of them are like angels in our life. If they were not here, maybe we couldn't face with all the difficulties that we had in our life. But for the other part, that we don't have a right of the
citizenship right,
and
normal.
It's not the problem of this the government of here. It's because I always say that, okay, this is a country that starts to get the immigrants newly, but the rest of the countries who has the history, they have a immigration system, or getting the refugee system, they have a system. Here, for example, we get the card from the police, and we get as a ID card, and when we get that card to the bank to open, for example, an account for the school, they say what what card is this, and because of these things,
and also Trump decision, to be honest, I don't want to once more put myself into political aspects, but it's unbelievable that when you consider when you put your blame on one kind of religion. As you see, we are not religious even, but because my mom was a Muslim, I'm considered to be a Muslim, and there's a Muslim ban, they say Muslim ban, but it just what's its difference with Holocausting? It happened to Jewish people. When you say Schindler's List, is there something that, how many films will be created to show that what happened to some Muslims, that even they were not Muslim, they didn't. We don't support terrorists. We hate them. We are fighting with them actually by our writings, by teaching students how to value the democracy. So I think this Muslim ban, or you stop some people. We have a lot of very good people who have come and served in Western countries. We have a lot of scientists, a lot of good people, a lot of valuable people. And they go to that society. They respect even those societies, cultures, rules, regulations, and everything. And sometimes they become mayors. They become they go to some kind of parliaments, and they work there. So. Why to stop some people just because you have born in a specified country? You have born in Iran, so we stop you. You are born in in this country, and we stop you. What's the difference of this with that Holocaust, with the thing that Hitler did for, and Nazism did for people, for Jewish people? And murder. It's a crime. I think both of them. Not maybe this one is not as dramatic as that one. Yeah, that's something unique in the history, unfortunately. But for us, I also here I feel that I have a kind of Kafka-like story here, like that trial. Believe me that when we are in love with each other, many even I kiss Leila, somehow I feel that I'm on those kind of papers that in Kafka's trial, and they were making love on that the mess. So somebody has to show this kind of thing, and I thank Eva for showing maybe a small part of our life.
I see one more question, which I feel will be the final question. It's a question to Eva. Eva, I want you to notice that you're muted right now, so just make sure to open your mic. What is your relationship with Sahan and Leila now? How do you navigate the fragile and unique relationship between filmmaker and protagonists?
Well, unfortunately, we haven't been able to see each other for quite a long time. As I said before, because of the coronavirus, nobody travels. So we had a plan to see each other this spring. But it hasn't happened yet. And in a way, it's a bit strange because I at least 2 or 3 times a year have been visiting them for many years now. So I feel kind of very close to them and part of their family, and it feels rather strange that I cannot visit. So we try to keep in contact, talking like this, or Sahan is very good at updating me on things happening in their life. So we still have contact on telephones and digital platforms, but I'm looking forward to go to Turkey whenever things get back to normal again. And I think you cannot be in somebody's life for 7 years without creating a real relationship. Of course, we knew that I was there to film, and that's my position in your life, but we also became friends. And I think that that's the way you can make films like this, that you come with something that is you and your full personality, and then you get some material with you home, but you still need to exchange real personal things and to create real relationships. Otherwise, I don't think you can really make good films either.
I think that it's exactly this dialogue that you all created together that made a film that is so close to my heart, and as I can see, to hearts of other viewers that have joined us today. Thank you so much, Eva, Leila, Sahan, for making this film, for sharing your story, and for sharing, opening your heart today here with us. I wish you all the best. Leila and Sahan, I truly wish all the best to you and to Mani. And I also, Eva, I wish all the best to you and to the continuation of this film and to the spreading of the story with many people as possible.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Wherever that Eva went during the festivals, she shared the people's feelings with us. She tried to write their sentences to us or ask, gave us the links of the people's comments. And this is our first time that we could see the people's questions and get their sympathy. It makes us very, very much more stronger and happy that somebody can understand
somebody
us.
heard us and
somebody can hear us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Eva, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And really all the best. I wish you a future of stability and happiness. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.